The record button. Hello, welcome back to a learning code session. We are going to be working on a little more MATLAB, and we're going to start getting into Python because it's been recommended to me a couple times, or suggested, requested, I know how words work. So, I'm having a brain fart of where I want to start with this, so I'll just do some, oops, I know how to spell, alrighty. Okay. Everything's fine. I am sure of what I want to do. Not really, but we will go with it. So, I want this on top, and this on the bottom. Yay, I can multitask. Okay. So, Python and MATLAB are somewhat similar. Like, if you know one, the other should be pretty familiar. But we're gonna go through some of the basics in Python. And like as we go through this, there's like hopefully you'll be able to see like just how similar they might be. I encourage folks watching to go to repl.it to write along with me. If you want to just sit and watch my moderator correct me when I inevitably make mistakes, then that's totally fine as well. So, let me shoo that out of here. So, the first universal thing that we can do is print. This is a pretty universal thing everywhere in the world, so, oh, that's nice. It, like, gives you suggestions. So, at least in REPL, if you type in a command and then just, like, wait for a hot second, it'll tell you, like, what you can put in the print statement. So, let's do that. And I don't remember the shortcut to run. Yay! So, hi Alice, welcome back. You can also, I think you can do, whoops, math. No, you have to assign a variable to it, so, okay, this is fine. I'm not used to using a browser for stuff like this, so it is certainly a thing. Okay. Sometimes you can just type in the name of the variable like I did in line 4 here. That doesn't always work, so actually I'm gonna check something real quick. I gotta make sure like all of my things are not like occupying too much space. Okay, so you would have to do something like that to run the thing. Yay, it worked. You can do, well, I mean, a lot of like the basic arithmetic syntax is the same, and this is the third time I'm going over it, so I'm just gonna assume that at this point you all know how to do basic math. The takeaway is you have to, like if you want REPL specifically to tell you what the thing is, then you have to say print the variable. Dig this music set wasn't the place you were listening to. It is, well, if you look in the upper left corner of the screen, you'll be able to see the playlist, or at least the name of the song and the artist. Yeah, that looks right. The playlist, the song title I play. Yeah. Well, I am using Pretzel. That's why there's this random entity called Pretzel Rocks just spamming my chat. So I'm listening to a station on that. I don't know if that answers your question, Prox. But I think the album is called The Glory Days. Yep. Oops. Senior song category selected. Technically, yes. The category is called chiptune. It's like closer to like the little like 8-bit type song or music type. So I figured it's nice and like upbeat, but also not like too serious or too intense. Yeah. So, yay, comments work. So in well, yeah, me too, Brox. It sometimes I do not choose the songs choose me. So in Python, there's two ways you can do comments. A comment, this is also a comment. Oops. So, there's two ways to do comments in Python. One is the cute little hashtag thing, or pound sign if you're like that. The other one is this 3-quote thing. So if I get rid of this, you'll notice that anything I put after the after this little 3-quote thing becomes commented out. So this is a really like quick and easy way to comment out multiple lines of code. Yeah. So now all right. So if you remember from the R stream, which was, wow, a whole 2 weeks ago, there are 3 main logic statements that you can play with. One is the for loop, one is the while loop, and one is the if loop. Loop. I said that weird. Loop. So the if statement, if you recall, just says if a condition is true, output something, like output whatever I tell you to output, otherwise do nothing, or do like a different output. So I can do print. I did not. There. Do the thing. Do I need an end? I don't remember how to end these, but does it get mad at me? Hey. So, the thing. Yep, alright. Let's see what it's having me. Okay, it's just complaining. It is marked in red. Why is it marked in red? It is an invalid syntax. Cool. So the first thing you can notice with this if statement is that the syntax for it in Python is really different. So in R, if you recall, it was something like this. And it looks like Python will... Well, let's test it. Yep, haha. Nope, it doesn't like it. It's do. So we got our first error of the day, 22 minutes in. Woo! So it's giving us an error saying that it does not like the curly bracket syntax. So this is R format and whoops. This is Python format. But the basic structure is the same, where it's just if you are if you're asking for some statement to be true, then you print a thing. Let's see how to do the else statement. Man, this music is great. Error 205 speedrun not found. So I guess another thing, usually with if statements, it'll automatically indent, but if you do not indent, you will get another error. So it's expecting an indented block, and it tells you where the indent is supposed to be. It's called Elif. I remember that. So this is the funky syntax for Python. Does else if work? No, it's Elif. You are not liking that syntax. Else statement. Oh, rip stream. Rip in peace. I don't know what happened. Did it break? Oh no. Am I back? Words? Okay. I think I'm back. Yay! Okay, well, that's gonna be a weird recording, so... Alright, yeah, so Elif is Python's version of an else statement. Looks like you can also do... my screen came back. Is my audio back? But it's locked. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Alright, well, I'm just gonna have to piece this together later. It's all black. Oh my.
Your stream is functioning.
Okay. Okay. Alice is just having technical difficulties.
Can you hear me right now?
I can hear you. Brox. Words. Things.
It's weird. You're actually cutting in and out on Discord, but not on stream. So you keep.
Okay. Okay, I'll keep doing things. Okay, so there's gotta be Huh. Okay. My brain is convinced there has to be a way to, like, end the if statement, because if I press enter, it indents. Okay, whatever. So, let's try doing enter. Oh, does it have to be indented? No? Okay. 5 greater than 2. What is the shorthand? What do you mean that's incorrect syntax? Whatever. You are saying that is incorrect syntax, but I'm gonna run it anyways. So you just have to deal with it. Does all of this need to be indented? Whoops. Nope, it's an issue with the whole thing. Why is it giving an issue? Oh, it's probably just else. That's probably why. So, this is a bunch of, oh, you're getting mad because that. It's fine. I know how things work. So there is a difference between else and elif. So the else statement is basically just saying if the condition is false, print something. Elif is saying if the first condition is false, evaluate the next condition and see if that condition is true. So there are some differences between else and elif. Elif is just fun to say, you know? You should be able to do, like, text in the same line. So if 5 greater than 2, print ASDF. So syntax-wise, this should work. Yep, it works. So if you're lazy and you want to keep everything in the same line, that's totally fine. Give me the while loops. Well, and also in is it? Hang on, there's one more syntax thing I want to look at. I thought there was an and condition. I just don't remember the syntax for Python. Oh, it is literally just and. So, 5 times 5 equals 25. Print. Yay. Math. Oh, nope, you got mad at that. I might have to put this in parentheses. 'Cause... Oh, I know why. Equals equals. We had this conversation before. Because we all know the difference between single equals and double equals. So, alright, a while loop. So this one I've seen works with, the examples I've seen with this are for conditions like like it's kind of like a different way of like using a for statement. So like you can say I equals 1, and then while I is less than 10, print I, and then stop. Oh my goodness. Okay, I need to change this setting real quick. Stop. There we go. That should... Yes, okay. That stopped. Equals I plus 1. Alright, so if I run... Can I just run this? Oh god, this is so, like, awful to see. Yay! So, what I did here was, this is basically saying, for as long as this condition is true, do the thing I want you to do. Otherwise, break out of the loop. So if I did, I'm gonna rewrite this actually. Let's say x equals, you know what? Y equals mx plus I. Print y, and then increment. It usually helps when I define some variables first. So if I run this, Python is going to get mad at me and say, whoa, you don't have m and x defined, so I might need to define y as well. So let's say m equals 0.5 and x equals y equals yay. 2. Actually, I'm gonna readjust these a little bit. So I'm gonna use the infamous equation y equals mx plus b, but I'm going to change the x position. So what I should get here is the output of whatever y is. So this should be saying y equals 0.5 times I plus 2. So let's run that. Oh, it got mad. Oh, haha, I have to remember to add in your operators, kids. Hey, there it worked. There it goes. It works. It's successful. I have to sanity check that I'm recording. Okay. So, you can do some math in this. I think this is good for like a value, like when you're looking and dealing with functions. You can have like an infinite series or something that just evaluates for ever, and then in a while loop you can say that you can basically say evaluate the first couple of things, or evaluate this when a certain condition is met. Yeah. And then the for loop is kind of similar. So I know how things work. It's totally fine. Aha, so if I do, oops, I want this to be fruits equals, and I'm just gonna play with some fruits. So I guess this would be a good, like, audience participation thing. So if you have some fruits in mind, send some fruits in the chat. Cause I'm gonna make a thing out of it. Give me the fruits. I'm just gonna go ahead and add in one of them. Persimmon. For a moment, I read that as permission, and I'm like, what type of fruit is that? Only have tea. You know what? We will add... Prox, I like to believe that you're just, like standing at your syrup shelf and just reading off different syrups. Well, there's already apples, so let's do cherries. Okay, so I've made this this list called fruits, and I want... Stop auto doing that. So if I run this, I should get... Oh, it's gonna yell at me because I didn't finish my for statement. So, let's... Fruits. I know how syntax works. Cashew apples are very distinct fruit from apples. Alright, I'll believe that. So, in the fruits variable, there are apples, persimmons, oranges, prickly pear, and cherries. So for x in fruits, print x. I don't know why that x is... Let's run it and see what it does. Aha! So, to show what it did in a nicer way, let's actually make this even nicer. This part of it. Just apple. Alright. Yeah. So what this for loop is basically saying is, it is asking, the computer to look at fruits, and list each item in position X for the length of the variable of fruits. That is definitely a complex and weird sentence, so it's, the way I've understood this, like, for X in Y, it's saying, like, do, like, start at position 1 and, like, pass, like, basically go down the list and identify the things in the list. Or, like, print whatever's in that position. Let's see. It got, like, really dark all of a sudden. There's a rainstorm outside. Whoops. Fruits 1. And no, I don't want this in the loop. I want this outside the loop. So I want to see... Aha! So, this is a little weird because everything is kind of squished here, but, so I said print fruits in position 1, and it printed out persimmon. And, you know, if you attended the stream on R, you may have been expecting apples. So the reason with this is Python starts counting things at 0 instead of at 1. So if I say, what is in position 0, my brain defaults to trying to press, like, Control-Enter to do things. Oh no! Not part of your tea is on the floor. Yeah, so position 0 is apples, or is the first thing in the list of items. Yeah, if you want to, like, so there is a neat little hat trick you can do with this. I'm going to... Oops. For x in fruits, print x, and then I'm gonna add in an if statement. If x is exactly equal to, let's say oranges. Whoops. Break. Alright. So, I assigned... So I've got my list of things called fruits, and it's got a bunch of different things in it. So in this loop that I just made, it's saying... so it's doing the same thing. It's basically saying go through each position in this, in this variable and print it. But I added an additional statement that says, if x is exactly equal to oranges, so if the contents of fruits in this position is exactly equal to oranges, well, I guess in any position is exactly equal to oranges, break. So break means kick out of the loop, all stop, go no further, do not pass go. Yeah. So then I could say, I could do something like this where I say, x, shoot, how do I do multiple things in a print statement? Printing multiple things in a print statement can get confusing, so definitely just be careful with it. Shucks, give me the thing. I literally just saw this. Well, I think it's x plus. I don't think this will work, but we'll find out. So let's try this and see what it does. Oops. I needed an extra space in there. String x. Okay. Do you, Prox, do you remember the the hat trick for adding a space between your variable and your character strings. Oh, just put a space in the string. Okay. So if I run this again, yay, everything has worked. So you can nest conditional statements in each other. You just have to be really careful with how you do it. Do give a shot since you're on 3.8. Okay, I think I know how to do that. So is that just here? So like that? Is that what you're saying? Well, let's find out. You lied, Prox. This does not work. Come into VC and explain to me. Like, oh, I see what you're saying. Never mind. I know what you're saying. Go away now. We'll find out. Hey! Nice. Okay, so this is an alternative way to write stuff. So I'm gonna put the first version. So I guess there are two ways to do this. If you do, you can do it like this, like in line 43, where it says x plus and then your character string. F strings are a brand new feature. Interesting. Kind of weird, but interesting. So in, I guess, the newer versions of Python, you can do, you can structure it like this, where you just... Isn't f technically a function? Like just the way that's structured? Or is that basically the same as like printf? Anyway, it's a different way to print things, so if that pleases, if that is appealing and pleasing, then yeah. Yeah, so basically just getting an introduction to a little bit of both is the short answer. Both MATLAB and Python, but originally this was supposed to be MATLAB. That's major. Typically, well, the MATLAB stuff is a little bit more for physics. I am a geology major, so this stuff is applicable to me for like data analysis and presentation type of stuff. Yeah, I think for the most part it's good to say that this is just here for fun. You don't have to be in like a class or anything to learn code. Yeah, this is chaotic. Okay. I mean, I guess another application of this is you can do a, how to phrase this? It's true, Julius pickup traction is easier, much more performance efficient. Huh. Good to know. Thank you, robot. That's good information to know. I'll definitely take a look at it. Yeah. At present, though, in namely in academic settings, a lot of places are using stuff more like Python, R, and MATLAB to really just get the feel for how to program and like how to computer. So yeah, interesting. I guess another thing I'm gonna do, and I think this will be the last thing I'll show for the day, is some Boolean stuff. I'm curious what this does. Oh look, it's a fancy color now. Huh. Okay. It was asking to evaluate variables. Okay. Well, apparently this is a thing. You can, like, type something in, and, like, get back whether or not it's true or false. So if I run that, this will probably turn out false? Or will it get mad? It did turn out false. Yeah, so write optimized code, it's quicker. Sounds good. Okay. To be honest, I didn't really prepare beyond a lot of this, so I think I'm just gonna end this there. There's some freshly made potatoes waiting for me, so I'm gonna go eat some foods. For a large array of fish. Huh. You all have way more experience with programming than I do. I'm just a noob. I think the first thing I'm gonna do is when this decides to work, eat fruit. Yes, I will eat fruit. So before I hop off for the rest of the day, alright, I'm gonna go eat potatoes. Have a good rest of your evening. Thank you for stopping by, all of you. And yeah. Goodbye.